Here's what slow reveal graphs are, the 3-minute version. In a slow reveal graph, the data representation has been decontextualized. It's been stripped away of its labels and other identifying information, and then slide by slide, the missing information has been reintroduced. This allows participants time to engage in deep sense making and to think critically about how data tells a story. So let me show you what I mean. This is an example of a first slide. You can see that it's showing the shape of the data, but it's missing things like the labels for the x-axis, the labels for the y-axis, and the title. It's just giving you a little hint about the title. So here I would have participants spend a lot of time noticing and wondering about what we already know. I choose to annotate, so I would then make their thinking visual, but I know lots of people choose to just do this as an oral routine, discourse-based, where you are just listening. So students might share that it starts at its highest point. And I would actually then record that this is maybe the highest point. And then you can see here it ends at its very lowest point, ends lower than it started. I would anticipate that some students would actually mention that this reminds them of a roller coaster, that it's going down and then up and then down and then up. And then on the next slide, new information is introduced. For example, we now know that this data point here represents 142,000. That might be a little surprising. That's a pretty big number. And we still don't know what this graph is about. However, with this new information, we might change what we're thinking about the intervals, or we might change what we're thinking about the value of the highest point or the value of the lowest point. The next slide would introduce more information, which is this data point, 78,000. From there, students might actually be able to predict what the intervals are. The next slide actually reveals it. So here we know that the intervals here are 20,000 every single time. Could also discuss what that K means for younger students. So now we have a lot of information about the quantitative side of this graph. However, we're still missing the x-axis. We don't know what we're measuring along here, and we don't know the title, what the context is for the whole graph. So that would give opportunity for students to either maybe estimate some points or to make predictions about what is happening along the x-axis and what it's about. You can see now it's years. So this graph actually starts in 1980. Whatever it is was really high in 1980, got a little bit higher again in the early 90s before getting lower and lower. And then towards 2019, 2020, very, very low. So what is this about? This graph is representing the maximum number of refugees that can be admitted to the United States. And you can see it was much higher in 1980 than it is today. There are lots of graphs like this on slowrevealgraphs.com. You can visit the website to learn more and check out some more examples. Hope this was helpful. Bye.